Parama Vyoma, the Ultimate Space, December 15th, 2018. Shri asked, could you kindly give us some more clarity on Parama Vyoma? Swami replied, O learned and devoted servants of God, the unimaginable God is beyond space. Space has 3 dimensions, called length, breadth, and height. Time is also an associated coordinate of space, since without space time cannot exist. When we take the state of the unimaginable God, he is beyond space and time, due to which he is unimaginable. Since he is beyond time, you should not ask me about the time in which he existed alone without creation. His state, which is beyond the 4 dimensions of space and time, exists even now, and it will exist even in the future. His state continues forever, even after the creation of the world, and even though he enters in the world in the form of incarnations. It is a wonder how God remains unchanged in spite of incarnating in multiple forms, and it is possible due to his inherent unimaginable nature. This is described in the Gita as avibhaktam vibhakteshu. First, God created space, which is subtle inert energy. Space and the subtle energy are one and the same, since the Veda says in one place that God created space, Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha, and in another place it also says that God created energy, Tat Tejo Srujata. Regarding the creation of the other elements and items of creation, a chain of cause and effect is described. It is told that from space arose air, and from air arose fire, and so on. God is said to be the direct cause only for space and energy. Since both space and energy are separately said to be the first creations, which were directly created by God, they must be one and the same. It means that space, even though it appears to be nothing, is actually something. It is subtle energy. The visible gross energy is derived from the invisible subtle energy by the reduction in its frequency. We know that visible light is electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation of higher frequencies such as ultraviolet light, X-rays and gamma rays is invisible to us, but it is detected by scientific instruments. The subtle energy has even higher frequencies than X-rays or gamma rays, and it is not only invisible to us, but it is also undetected by scientific instruments. However, it is not nothing, since it is basically energy. Just because something is invisible to your eyes or to your scientific instruments, it does not mean it is nothing or non-existent. It can exist even though it is invisible. Ancient Indian logic speaks about the quantization of space. They described Akasha Paramanus, which could be roughly translated as atoms of space. It clearly indicates that the ancient Indian philosophers knew that space, being one of the 5 elements, is something. Science also speaks about the bending of space, which suggests that space is something. It is possible that all of creation disappears, yet space alone remains. Space has its own independent existence. It need not disappear along with matter, as some scientists think. God wanted to create this world, and he created space or subtle energy as the first item. Without space, creation cannot exist, even though space can exist without creation. God wanted to express himself to the souls which were to be created in the future. So he created a divine energetic body consisting of a divine energetic soul. Both the energetic soul and the body together are called the energetic being. The unimaginable God merged with this first energetic being permanently to become the first energetic incarnation called Datta. Datta means given or expressed for the sake of souls. Datta is known by many names including Hiranyagarbha, Narayana, Sadashiva, Ishvara, and Father of Heaven. The first energetic incarnation occupies a certain amount of space from the point of view of its body and soul. The soul too is a form of energy, and it requires space for its existence. Thus the first energetic incarnation needs some amount of subtle energy for the creation of its body and soul. A part of the subtle energy, which is the first item created by God, is used for this purpose. Even in the final dissolution, this space occupied by the first energetic incarnation does not disappear because this first incarnation is eternal. This holy space is called the ultimate space or Parama Vyoma. It is called ultimate or Parama since it will not disappear even if the entire creation disappears. Actually, in the final dissolution, the world only goes from its gross state into a subtle or hidden state called Avyaktam. A movie is projected on the screen in a movie theater during the show. This is like the gross state of creation. When the show is over, the movie is no longer projected on the screen, but it remains in a subtle form in the film reel. This is like the subtle state of creation during dissolution. Not only does the first energetic incarnation called Hiranyagarbha or Brahma remain during the dissolution, but his abode called Brahma Loka also does not disappear. In other words, space never disappears. It is space which contains Brahma Loka and the rest of creation in a subtle state. It is this ultimate space that is mentioned in the Veda through the words Parama Vyoma. Brahma Loka also exists in this gross state after dissolution and can be called as Parama Vyoma. The space occupied by the creation in subtle state after the final dissolution is called as Vyoma or space.